This is Ashley Stiles reporting on this week's health segment on the FSIS, also known as the Food Safety and Inspection Services, and is the public health agency under the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The FSIS was officially named in 1981 as the Food Safety and Inspection Services, but has been in the development under President Abraham Lincoln when he founded the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 1862. FSIS is responsible for ensuring that the nation's commercial supply of meat, poultry, and egg products is safe, wholesome, and correctly labeled and packaged. The FSIS headquarters is located in Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Registered dietitians often offer up-to-date, safe, accurate information as a public service through the FSIS as a meat and poultry hotline through the holidays. While the registered dietitians do not work directly with the FSIS, they do oversee it and oftentimes work for the U.S. Public Health Services. One way to utilize this service as students, as registered dietitians, is to follow these 4 steps. The FSIS advocates for 4 steps: clean, separate, cook, and chill. I'm going to go ahead and explain to you each of these steps in a little more detail. First, let's start with clean. Always make sure to put up your hair and make sure to wash your hands. Step number 1, clean. We always want to make sure that we do proper cleaning before we handle our food. First step, we want to make sure that our hands are washed before and after handling food prep. Wash it under warm, soapy water for about 20 seconds, or about how long it takes to sing the happy birthday song 2 times. We want to make sure that we dry it with a dry paper towel, and then we can start preparing. We always want to make sure that anything that comes into contact with our food, such as a food thermometer, is washed properly as well with warm, soapy water. Any vegetables will need to switch to cold water and rinse and wash to make sure they're ready for food preparation. Step number 2 is separate. We always want to make sure that we keep our raw food from our cooked food separate. An easy way to help would be to put the raw meats on one colored cutting board and the veggies on another. This, I use green for veggies and yellow for any raw meats. Also remember that when you're done cooking your food, that you still keep your raw and your cooked food separated from each other to avoid any cross-contamination or any juice dripping that could cause any foodborne illnesses. We want to make sure that we're at 160 degrees as the internal temperature of the meat. So let's check and see where we're at. It looks like we're at 137, and we still have a few more minutes to go until we get to 160 degrees. Now that we're at 160 degrees, we can go ahead and prepare it to put it in the fridge for safekeeping. Let me go ahead and show you 160 degrees. That is the correct internal temperature as directed by the FSIS. When our meat is properly cooked, we want to make sure that we put it into a container before we put it into the fridge. So we want to always make sure that since our food is cooked, we get to grab a new utensil. I'm going to go ahead and put it into our container and prep it for the food. We want to make sure leave it uncovered, and then we're going to go ahead and put it into the fridge. Always make sure for step number 4 that you cool your food as quickly as possible to avoid any contamination. If it is left out for over 2 hours, there is a possible chance that bacteria can add on to it. For more of these simple steps, go to www.fsis.usda.gov. Always remember these 4 simple steps: clean, separate, cook, and chill next time you make a meal. That's it for this week's health segment on FSIS. We'll see you next time.